All right, so today is Friday before Toronto Comic Con 2023. We have what? Basically, it starts by now, a week from now, day one will be over. So we got 6 days, which means we really have 5 days, which means I only have this weekend to do the upgrades I need to do on JS's gear. So the other day, JS dropped off to me. He redid the masks. He put fiberglass backing in them. That's all good. You've probably seen that in this build video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting in the new LED lights into his mask for the laser beam. I'm also going to be, I fixed his speaker. I'm going to run the speaker wire all the way up through these beads to come out of his neck that connects in behind here. So I got to do that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get started. So stick around and we'll probably fast forward our way through me doing all this work. So initially, I put this together for JS's headpiece, and I did it before I received it. So this is a bit long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo this, but I'll just show you what's going on here. I bought these connectors off of Amazon, which makes connecting these two, the wiring together easy. You just put these two pieces together, and they just click together, right? Easy peasy. And that allows it to be modular. So if you need to replace this piece, you can do that. If you need to replace this piece, you can do that without having to redo everything. I don't know if it's totally necessary. It has come in handy at least once, so maybe it is. But looking at this, way too long, so I'm going to redo it. I'm going to keep this piece, but I'm going to redo this piece. I'm going to save this for a future project. I have a bunch of these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut off, I'm going to probably cut it back to about here. I'm going to take off 4 inches of it or so. And then I'm going to put this end onto it so it'll only be about that long. And that'll allow it to sit up here in the mask a lot easier. Get it right off. There you go. That's all we need for this side. We're going to do the same for the battery side. There we go. Okay, I got it lined up nicely now. I'm going to take some more solder onto my iron. I'm going to dab it on here. There we go. Let it dry. Harden up a bit. There we go. Now we got a good solder. There we go. We're done. Nice good solder. We're going to put that over top. Now, these won't touch each other and short out. So we're going to take our heat gun. And the shrink wrap does as advertised, and it shrinks around the wires. There we go. The shrink wrap has shrunk. We're all good and soldered. Now this does need to cool a little bit, but it's good to go. So if we take our lights and we plug them together, if I did my job correctly, son of a bitch, you know why it didn't work? There's no batteries in here. Plug them into the new one. Now, if I did my job correctly, okay. Seems to be the theme of this show. Third time's a charm. Let's put the batteries in the right way. Okay, third time's a charm. There we go. It works. It works. The system works. Trial and error, but it works. So, now, take this apart. This is what makes it modular, right? We got the hole in there. I can rebuild this if I need to. This goes in there. We're just going to glue it, connect it. Now, we got to hide this in here. And what I've been doing in mine is I'll just wrap it around like that, and then we tape this down to hide it. And from a side profile, you can't even see if you're looking for it. I'll take some black gaffer tape or black Gorilla tape, put it over top of this, and it will turn out like mine. So this is mine finished. I do have the black tape here, but as you can see, it's a very short loop, and I've hot glued it in place. This can all be undone when it needs to be done, right? Just as we're doing now. But this should hold everything in place so that the wires aren't moving around and breaking the connection. This is an improvement on the previous version. Now the wires are nice and solidified. They're solid in place. They shouldn't move around, and then you won't get the lights cutting in and out and whatnot. So yeah, that's the end goal. This is mine. Mine's done. The next step is to glue the lasers in place here in the eyes. So we're gonna put this aside for now, and we're gonna figure out: do we hot glue? Or do we super glue? I'm gonna super glue. Spoiler alert. You don't want the laser like pointing off to the left, like it's gotta be pointing straight on. I didn't think so, but this might require some filing. The problem is that the light here is sitting too far forward. I don't want you to be able to see behind, right? So it needs to sit a little deeper in this cavity. So I think what I'm going to do, grab the file that I have, and I'm going to just sand this down a little bit to see if it'll slide back just that much further. Okay, so I'm going to use this file to sand down some of the edges here that are in the hole, just to see if I can get myself a little bit more space to sink it back into the back. How does that work? Okay, that's even better. Like, that did what I wanted it to do. I'm able to sink it back just that much further, that I'm happier with it. Although I think what I need to do is just paint some black in here, because you're going to be able to see there a little bit. Alright. The one points are here, here, and down here now. There we go. So now it's straight on. Got our glue in there. I don't see it leaking out very far or anywhere. I don't see it leaking out, so I think this is gonna work. So we'll let that sit for a minute. I'm gonna definitely try painting it black, just so hot glue is white when it dries, right? Or semi-translucent. So you can see it. Now if I paint it black, it'll just blend into the background. So yeah, I got enough glue on there. It's holding nicely. That part's done. Now the idea here is we're gonna want this to be within reach. I'm gonna find the best way to do this. We'll connect. Still works after gluing. That's a bonus. Taking that out would have been a pain in the butt. Gotta figure out where to put the battery pack, because I don't want to see it from the side profile. Luckily this slides up pretty good. So I think I'm gonna stick it towards the outside, and then the wiring, and we'll just put some little bit of strategic hot glue down to hold it in place. And then I'll touch it up so you don't even know it's there. We'll put black tape down, and that will be the end of this. Okay, glue gun's all heated up. Now what I'm gonna do, again, I need this to be hidden in the profile. This is where I'm gonna tack it in place with some glue. I do need to hold this, unfortunately, until it'll stay without moving. So, la-di-da, la-di-da. The hot glue is hardened, and the wiring is held in place for the LED lights that go into the aiming sights for the laser cannon. So that's what that looks like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the battery pack and we're going to figure out where we're going to glue that into place. Every step of the way to make sure the electronics still work. Because if you need to back out and fix it, it's just going to get harder and harder the more permanent you make the installation. So it still all works. I'm going to glue it in the same spot that I did mine, which is right there. So we're going to glue it right in this position here. And if you look at the side profile, once there's tape on this and it's all secured down, you're not going to see it. I'm going to add a little bit of super glue and a little bit of hot glue. Just going to add some hot glue. And we're going to glue it into place. Like that. So the glue is held in place. Again, we check, does it still work? It does indeed still work. Now, the Gorilla Tape. There you go. That's as good as it's going to get for this design. But I am going to paint this black. Paint all this black, like I said before. Which we're going to do right now. There you go. This should be done. You should be able to just stick your finger in there, turn it on and off. Okay, so now what I'm doing for JS is I'm going to run this speaker wire, RCA speaker wire, up here to the end, top of the necklace, so that we're going to solder together this female end on here, and it's going to just dangle out at the back of his neck there, and you won't see this wire because it's going to be hidden all throughout these beads. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I've pushed the wire through the hole here where the wire that's holding the steel wire that's holding all these beads on goes through, and I'm just going to run this wire up through these beads and hope I don't have to take it all apart. Okay, so there you go. The wire's been run up through the beads. That went pleasantly well. I didn't have to take this apart. And now on the back, problem is movement here with speaker wires. So I redid all this so that we don't have that problem. I am going to tack this in place with some super glue. No, sorry, not super glue. That won't hold. Hot glue, a little bit more flexible. And hopefully, JS no longer has audio problems with the speaker. The last thing that I gotta do as well is I gotta snip this off, solder this together so that he can connect the other end of the wire to this, to the computer pack and the buttons, and we are back in business better than ever. That should be good. So there's your two wires that I gotta solder together on the other end. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna use some tuck tape instead, because this is such low voltage we're talking about here. There we go. As long as it just doesn't touch the ground, which we're gonna solder now. Now it looks exactly like how we wanted it to. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure this here with a little bit of tape so that this joint doesn't move around too much. And then JS has the other end of this and it'll just pop into there and it should work. Now, I gotta test it still. We gotta test it because you don't ever want to hit the floor without testing it. That would be a bad idea. There you go. We're gonna glue this in place so it's not moving around. I'm pretty darn confident that this is gonna work. So much so, I'm not gonna test it till the end. Stay tuned till the end to see if I'm a cocky son of a gun or not. I think this is working. I just need to hold it in place while it cools. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of glue here where my tape is because I don't trust that tape for this application. There you have it, all fixed up, ready to go. All right, it's test time. I've got a male cable here, so male end into our female end that we just connected. JS's computer that goes in his arm. Let's see what happens when we press one of the buttons. Sounds like a success to me. Nailed it the first time. Let's try button number 2. Oh, he sounds angry. It works though. Button number 3. We are in business, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you at Toronto Comic Con 2023. Bye for now.